In this podcast, we will look at meat consumption purely from an environmental perspective. Why is that necessary? Because while making reduction targets in climate conferences, the issue of meat eating posing a threat to the environment is totally overlooked. No concrete measures are being taken on limiting food system emissions to arrest global warming. It is a harsh reality that we are on our way to missing the climate targets of the Paris Agreement. It wouldn't be wrong to say that enough is not being done in this direction, as there is no mention of meat consumption in climate pledges. The voices for this important cause are often suppressed under the banner of human rights. But to exercise our rights, we have to be alive first, and a healthy environment is essential for that. Of course, it is our right to choose the food we want to consume. But if that choice impacts the whole planet adversely, it makes sense to seriously reconsider our choice. Now, how does meat eating affect the planet? For meat, farm animals are reared and slaughtered. They are extensively reproduced through artificial insemination. Their population won't naturally grow up to this much. More animals mean more fodder is required to feed them. Where will this come from? We know that agricultural land is limited. So for this, forest land is converted to agricultural land. And the majority of the agricultural land is used for livestock and their feed. About half of the world's habitable land is used for agricultural purposes. What does that mean? Less wilderness and less biodiversity. Farming is the biggest cause of natural habitat loss of wildlife species. Now, forests are natural carbon sinks. We don't realize while clearing them that the way we use land contributes to climate change. Further, before animals are slaughtered, they have to be fed a lot of food and water. And this is when there is a significant food and water shortage in the world. Also, the livestock produces the powerful greenhouse gas methane through their digestion processes. This is how the meat industry is a major driver of deforestation and carbon emissions. In the past 5 decades, meat production has grown by more than 3 times. Richer countries tend to eat more meat, and they also have higher greenhouse gas emissions. It is not strange that the map of global meat supply is similar to the map of global footprints or average incomes. It is all about the mindset, a mind that searches for happiness in materials. About 25% of the total greenhouse gas emissions come from food production. Hence, we need to find a way to lower it. A plant-based diet is a solution. Meat and dairy are highly emission-intensive foods. Plant-based diets can ensure that more mouths are fed with less overall food production. That will lower the environmental footprint. Livestock produces less than 20% of global calories, but is responsible for more than 50% of food's greenhouse gas emissions. That is a very high carbon footprint. If we take the meat with the lowest carbon footprint and compare it with the highest emitting plant-based foods, we will find that the meat still has higher emissions. Why is it a pressing problem? Because our dietary preferences no longer impact only our health. It is now directly linked to our planet's health. Whether we like it or not, making our diets sustainable is the best way forward. The ongoing climate crisis makes it imperative to lower our food system emissions. It is a high time we understand that we will have to strive to keep the total emissions within the carbon budget. If we lower meat consumption, it would free up land for agriculture and save further deforestation. What can we do about it? Governments must remove subsidies for livestock farming and help livestock farmers to transition to alternative farming systems. There must be a high green tax on meat consumption. Lab-grown meat can eliminate the need to artificially raise the number of farm animals. Plant-based diets must be promoted. In today's time, when a lot of healthy alternative options and a plethora of free information are readily available, it makes no sense to feel compelled to stick to flesh eating. Climate change is a reality. There is no point living in denial. We must try and adapt to the changing climate by making necessary adjustments. Behavior change through the right education is the need of the hour, and this podcast is a humble attempt toward the same.